Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the LCS Challengers League. We have 20 more games of League of Legends to play in our regular season before the playoffs kick off next week. And we've got 3 series on the docket here on LCS_Challengers. Thank you for tuning in, and we are excited to get underway. My name is Grapes, joining everybody once again from the qualifiers. Pleasure to be back here in the NACL. We're here with Cubby and Mazel. We're here on a show together for the first time. How are you?
I know! It's so exciting. We get to work together, and we get to cover some banger games on the last weekend of NACL. It's going to be great.
You know, Grapes, this time I work with you, I'm going to try, it's out of my control, but I'm going to try and make a little bit of a promise here. I won't abandon you for Game 6, especially when you have...
Are you sure, Cubby?
Yeah.
Can you hold that? Can you hold that?
Halftime show segment that you're like, Cubby's going to enjoy this. I'm going to try to stick around for this.
Not gonna lie, that was a little messed up. I put my jersey on, got the hat on for you, and we were about to get ready, and you just left.
You had your first taste of Cubby. Now you know how to react to it.
My ISP that will remain unnamed, that starts with an S and ends with an M, I was not a big fan of them that day. Not a big fan.
There's not a lot of wiggle room there, I will say.
Not a big fan.
Well, even though Cubby, abandoned me, left me to pay for the check at the end of the day last week, I've been covering the qualifiers as well, and the OQs, the Swiss format, going on for the second qualifier right now. Some of the teams that are doing very successfully right now, Winthrop University and Team Ambition, they were the 2 teams that faced off in the finals last week. And to break that down and to give us a little bit of an insight, well, we're going to send it over to my friend Alk Battery.
Hi, Challengers League fans. It's Alk. Team Ambition and Winthrop University were our finalists in the LCS Challengers League qualifiers, and we wanted to highlight some of the players you might see at the promotion tournament in a few months. As the only Team Ambition member returning from spring, Kachu has been impressive this whole year. Kachu has a trained eye for all-ins, and he loves to play on the edge as a melee specialist. He thrives on champions like Jason Yone while still having those pocket picks like Echo and his Yasuo. We're excited to see how Kachu and the rest of Team Ambition continue to dominate after their first tournament win this last week. Denethor had great performances on Tempest Gaming last year and now joins former challengers Mobility and Sword on this Winthrop University roster. Denethor has not shied away from playing engaged for the team, but he still has a love for those fighters like his Cassante or his infamous Camille. With a new roster from spring and Coach Artemis of Evil Geniuses fame, Denethor and the Winthrop Eagles look to soar into an NACL position.
These are 2 teams that we're going to have our eyes on as the promotion tournament gets underway. Again, with some of the bottom teams in the NACL. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But Cubby, I mean, Denethor we saw during CLOL, but I like the shout out to Kachu as well in the mid lane for TA.
From the little gameplay I've been able to catch, as you know, this is played usually when we're trying to get ready for this broadcast. Kachu has been slightly impressive, and Denethor was really impressive, especially at that collegiate top 8, where you were out covering that as well, Grapes. I just kind of wanted to use this time too while we have your expertise who's following this full time here. Any other teams that were not mentioned or players that really stick out to you that you want to highlight?
Well, we got Mirage Alliance, a team with Neo and Chad and Alorum and Dardock on it. So that's going to be one as well to watch. Lit Esports have Dragoon and Kisno. So those are the 4 teams. They finished top 4 in the first qual. I'm expecting them to finish top 4 again and make it into the promotion tournament. But we got to shift our focus over to the NACL right now because we got to show our play of the week for week number 5, Perry's base defense. Let's take a look.
Okay, 15 seconds on Manui. They don't have Baron buff to shove in. They could probably get a Nexus turret before everyone spawns. Perry's jumping onto the wave, trying to stop it from getting in here. Team Liquid say, we're ignoring him. Tristana damage to turrets, to structures is too strong, but the minions have spawned. So my fear. They got Mir. They got Kim down. Perry's saving the game as Arrow can't get through the gate. Fear, hold the line.
Some heads-up looks from the Cincinnati Fear jungler Mazel. How beautiful was that play?
Oh my goodness, it was actually incredible. And the fact that we had Kangas popping off as well, because he had no idea that the defense was even going to come out. It's those kinds of moments that you love to see, but also that decisiveness from Fear that has really been their bread and butter recently, led by Perry, who seems to be the general and the sword at this point. But there is something else. I feel like the fact that we've seen that so much strength from that roster in this late season push too, it's been really cool to watch.
Speaking of junglers, we had a fun little content segment, Mazel, that you actually ended up recording with some of the junglers in the NACL. I'm really excited to take a look at this one. So we're going to show that right now.
Welcome one and all to NACL Bot, our game and our version of Horse, but on League of Legends and on Summoner's Rift. I've got our 3 contestants, Perry, Tomio, and Will. We're about to see who can come out on top and who are bots. We are going to have you put yourself into a practice tool, set up a basket of 3 wards around one of the pixel brushes. You're going to use a movement displacing ability from any champion you want to get a target dummy into the center of those 3 wards.
Oh, I guess one more. Okay. I'm gonna go right here.
Oh, that's a basket. That's our first.
I think that's the first basket.
Yeah, I mean, easy as this. Oh! I should've
Wait.
done
That wasn't the same. That's a miss. You got a copy, bro.
Oh, I didn't know.
You got
Dude.
a copy. You got a B.
Okay, wait, this is gonna be it. Let's just do it.
Oh!
That's cutting it. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's cut it!
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright.
Yo,
That's it.
we got 2 B's in here
Wait, how's that a
already.
B? That's
All right. All we gotta do, Skarner ult the dummy in. It's gonna be simple, very simple. If I mess it up, I might be boosted. All right.
We'll see. First time for everything. Oh!
Look at that.
Okay.
That's a beautiful basket.
I could do that with my eyes closed, honestly.
Yeah.
Right here?
Yep, right there.
Alright, I'm ready, like. Come on.
Wait,
Whoa.
Wait.
Whoa.
bro.
Hey, I'm not even gonna lie. I don't think that's in.
Alright, I'm gonna, here we go.
Oh!
Hey.
I think that's in.
That's it?
All right.
No,
Yeah, we count that.
hey, that's sick.
I think since we said Tomio's we're not gonna count. I think we can't count this one either.
All right, we got 2 bows. Barry's pissed.
All right, it's about that right. This.
Oh!
Okay.
Oh, yeah, bro. We all play this in. So you're gonna press the ghost here, you know? Gotta drive to the net, and you know what I'm saying? Call me LeBron James V2, but and then we're gonna go like this. And hit it. I didn't practice it, but-
Okay, that looked cool though. That was a sick one though. Okay, you just go.
Oh!
Hey, that's like a beautiful basket.
That's it.
My God.
That's it.
Flash. Whoa! Hey, that's a B. That's a B.
That's close. That's a B, bro.
Alright. All you gotta do is just, you know.
Gotta send it.
Oh!
Oh.
He's throwing, man.
Oh my god.
He's not trying. He does not care.
Okay.
Bro, I think you're a bot.
Alright, bro.
Right about.
You got this.
What about here?
The showstopper, haymaker. Faker. Oh, what was that? Oh, you sky choke. Oh.
Oh, that's a basket right there.
Alright.
This is for Taylor Swift. That's my shotty.
I don't know. Okay.
You're overthinking it.
Oh, that's it. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, hope you miss it right now. Because you're taking all this time measuring. I hope it misses.
Bro, I'm not gonna take all this time measuring and just lose and just be a bot like you. Your thing is you're talking, but you're dead, bro.
Nah, I'm not bot. It was rigged. Like a carnival game at the fair.
Nice.
You're not supposed to win. Oh.
Oh, I'd say that's out.
Alright.
I'm
Let me show you.
ward.
I mean,
That's it. No, that's it.
honestly,
Okay.
Kind of an airball, but I'll let it.
But you think it's airball, Tomio?
Alright, now you doing too much, Tommy.
How you doing?
I
Now you
mean,
doing too much.
I need you ASAP. You're looking? You're here?
I'm here.
I'm looking. That's in.
Done.
He got
That's
it.
in. That's in easy.
You're gonna ult QW.
Alright. It's a simple.
Oh!
Alright.
come on, no pressure. Ah! Oh!
W twice. I W twice. Like, look, I W twice. There's no way that's possible. Look.
All right. We got Tomio and Perry who came out as bots. Will is the champion of game number 1.
Wow.
Congratulations to Will. Will, do you have anything to say?
I'm the king. I'm the king.
Thank you so much to all three of them for being a part of our first episode of Bot. It was so much fun to put together. My cheeks were hurting so bad after that. I was laughing so much for the full 2 hours that we were recording. But, you know, Will came out with some easy mechanics, but could be repeated. Apparently the others are boosted, as you said, but they are bots. And they'll have to be a little bit careful next time.
I feel like, you know, in the spirit of where this game was modeled off of, we got to have some people like start calling bank or come up with a way for that.
Yeah.
I'm just
on the edge of
for the next episode. We had thrown some half-court shots. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I like that.
Well, even though Tomio kind of sold the bag a little bit in that game, his team's doing pretty well in the standings. We can take a look at that right now as we are really close to the end of the regular season, gentlemen, and things starting to heat up. Fear dropping some. Fear kind of rising up in the standings, and FlyQuest ahead of the pack in the top half.
Yeah, I do want to highlight that in the bottom half, Maryville versus Supernova, they are tied, but the standings do accurately represent the current tiebreaker scenarios. Our first tiebreaker, if we do have equal records, is actually the amount of 2-0s that you got in the season. So Maryville, they have 2 to Supernova's 1 at the moment. So they would get through if playoffs were to start tomorrow. But as you called out at the start of the broadcast, Grapes, we've got 20 games left. I'm really curious to see who ends up joining us in the playoffs, as it feels like AOE and EGC have built enough space to not call themselves safe yet, but very highly likely. What was it, like a 0.47%?
It was less than
chance?
1% for AOE. Yeah.
They missed, so looking pretty good for them. And really good to see both EGC and AOE improve in the back half of the year to NACL.
Yeah, I think that the right side is obviously the most important. A lot of stakes going into this weekend, but I've been really appreciative of the growth, not only from some of our big teams, but EGC with the roster swaps, things like that coming in.
And we can take a look at what games are going to be happening here on Challengers League, the main channel. Fly versus Taco to kick us off, then Wildcard and DSG. EGC versus TLC is going to be an exciting one towards the end. Both of those teams are riding pretty high. But we can start off by talking about our first matchup today. FlyQuest Challengers versus Team Fish Taco. Cubby, these are two teams fighting for different things. FlyQuest in terms of seeding, but Taco, they've got a lot on the line just in terms of keeping their season alive today.
Any game that Taco can pick up at this point is much needed for them, and it's going to be a challenge going up against FLYC, who have really been on a hot streak of late, Mazel. This is a team where I remember last split, Winsome and Masu, when they joined the team, I believe they finished the regular season something like 8-3 or 9-3 in the back half. This is now a team that they've had this core together for the entire split, but it really feels like they are scaling into the back half of their games, as in their last few series they are 7-3, and a team that I feel like they're fighting for that number 2 seed, because they really have put some space between themselves, Wildcard and Disguise, as they try and secure that seed for themselves moving into playoffs.
Yeah. It's the late season pushes. We got to hear from Rocco facing on Taco today. And the message is, right, that he's very clear on how they want to approach the game. If you define those characteristics for Fly, that's how they find that motivation and that success. And against Taco, they have the possibility of not only having a strong finish to their split with a very strong weekend, but they can also kind of deny Taco.
The interesting thing right now, Taco currently, I believe, sitting single-handedly in last place, and so need as many wins as possible, even though here against FlyQuest it might not be the easiest thing to do. But Mazel, as we get ready for this series, I know you are aware of the fact that there are a lot of stakes on the line between these two teams.
There are a lot of stakes on the line, all right? I'm grilling some stuff up on the grill. You see the nice hot fire, the coals, they're not too hot. There's not too much fire, all right? But we got some incredible games today. We will have the FlyQuest Challengers versus Taco game today on our stream, but we always have to check in, and we will be checking in on how these steaks are cooking as we go on through the rest of the day. Just wanted to see what we have grilling up here, and as we do, we also got to see exactly what we're grilling up for this one, because I think a big focus in this first series has to be that bottom lane, and has to be the growth that we've seen from both these sides in different ways. Now, this graphic might be a bit representative of what we've seen recently, but all I'm gonna say is we've gotten the renewed wizard. He's not even Wi-Fi anymore, he's just a wazard. And now we also have the aggressive lion and spawn. The growth we've seen from these two ADCs, in fact that we're getting this pivotal matchup between them with the differences we've seen just in this split alone, has been incredible, Cubby.
I think that it's really good in Challengers League whenever we can see growth between players, just from one split to another. For me, Spawn stepping up, that is something where, it felt like Spawn, when you go from LCS back to Challengers, that can be something where it looks like you lose confidence. And I know that Spawn is not a team that's lower in the standings, but we still feel like Spawn is playing well and actually stepping up at a lot of times when things aren't correct. And then on the side of Masu, for me, he is my most valuable prospect if I had to vote tomorrow. I know we have some games left, but I think that Masu has been great in the back half of the season. And seeing him evolve his play to actually incorporate mages has been a real pleasant surprise in the back half, as we haven't seen a ton of mage play. But honestly, from the few games I've seen, it looks like there's a great understanding on how to play these champs, which is just so impressive, again, from a young player that has scaled the skill that he is at as quick as Masu's been able to do it.
Yeah, I think especially, he looks good on Ziggs. He was bringing out the Karthus, things like that. But it is that duality, right, when you're looking at these two carries in the way that they're approaching this one, because we have seen Masu pop off. He's going from strength to strength, but Spawn is making a splash of his own now.
It's interesting to see like the different paths that they have taken to get here. The fact that Masu is expanding his champion pool after having coming out of nowhere almost last year, and on the other side, Spawn regaining that aggression that he was known for in the past after some not as good time in the LCS. And Spawn, as we were saying, Mazel, has been playing really good over these last few weeks.
Yeah, and we'll actually get to take a look at his gameplay here as well. And you just look at some of the things that we would not have seen even 6 months ago from Spawn. These step-ups, these moments, not just the killer instinct name of Kai'Sa's ultimate, but the fact that he has that now, and it feels like he's utilizing it.
Yeah, and like for Spawn, he's a player that we always felt like, if you have Spawn in an 80% team fight, you like your chances, as Spawn positions so consistently. And he still really has that, but we have also seen a lot more pop-off moments from Spawn, which has been necessary for this team when they do pick up a few, like the few wins they've been able to manage, as it is something where Spawn is a stronger player on this roster, has more experience. He is now that veteran in a sense, having experience in LCS, but still seeing him grow and reach the mantle of a player that is improving and trying to find his way back into that league, let alone a challenger spot where you're associated with an LCS org, I think is the first step for a lot of these players. I think it has been good to see Spawn almost take this one step back to hopefully take 2-3 steps forward. And I think that we have seen really good moments from his play this split.
Again, that added level of aggression is definitely the big difference maker between what we've seen from him in the past and what we have been seeing from him in this split. I mean, just looking at that Aphelios clip and the Kai'Sa one specifically, knowing when to pull the trigger, dive into the backline, and dish as much damage out as possible has definitely been really impressive to see, even though the team hasn't had that much success throughout the season. But on the other side, Cubby, your MVP Masu, expanding that champion pool a little bit and has put up some really solid performances as well.
I think Masu has just been nothing short of incredible this split. And for me, the difference between him this split and last split is I know last split that took a little bit to actually get in with the team. But I think that we also saw some growing pains early on from Masu, just as a player that was new to Challenge League. This is only his third split of competitive play, second split in the league. And I think that Masu, the difference between summer and spring for me is that Masu not only is more consistent in his gameplay, but for me is giving even more highlight reel plays, which is kind of crazy to think after his first split, Mazel, where he was even in that conversation for most valuable prospect as a rookie. I really feel like Masu has put together a better split than his spring, which is an impressive feat on its own, and really speaks to what Masu has been able to accomplish both splits this year in Challengers League.
And I would say there were moments at the beginning where we were like, okay, he's still performing really well, but he's not making those insane splashes that we want. But he has truly, over this split, grown into a honed weapon for FlyQuest, and it's something that they are very proud of, right? You got to hear from Rocco yesterday as well, just about how much the Masu has grown, but the team alone has grown. And giving them that point of motivation, that point of focus helps a lot.
This bot lane matchup is going to be intense. Lots on the line between FlyQuest Challengers and Taco. They might not be near each other in the standings, but each are fighting for such important things at the end of the regular season. The draft for game number 1 is underway and about ready to begin. Mazel and Cubby, enjoy the first game of the week.
All right, let's go ahead and kick it off. All the stakes are alive. I got them grilling over on the side, but not inside, because that would be
You do?
potential fire hazard. We are getting into it, though. Taco need to win all the games here from here on out. Really put themselves in the best position to not be in that promotion relegation tournament. We have FlyQuest Challengers. They're on the blue side. The NACL ban immediately first and foremost. We'll see what Taco want to answer with. A lot of these big meta picks obviously coming off the table here.
And Nico's been a big pick for Taco, as a lot of their strategies have revolved around getting push mid so that Rosethorn can pull off some of the invades that we know Rosethorn for in his time in Challengers League. But for me, FlyQuest is a team that they're very flexible in the strategies that they can run. It feels like a malleable team that we have in Challengers League. I also love the way that they team fight, they 5v5. I know that Masu, we were hyping him up and how much he is able to make some of those big pop-off plays, but in a lot of the fights, you kind of said, hey, we haven't seen, as much of the pop-off moments as Masu earlier on in the split. I feel like some of that's just because his team's good at peeling for him, good at making sure that fights are easy, approachable for the marksman. And when they do get haywire, the fact that Masu is able to pull off those crazy plays too, and we see more of them as the split's gone on, I think just really speaks praise to what he does as a team fighter, but also I feel like FlyQuest does play very well around their marksman. Let's see if they can do so today, as is a rather tough matchup going into Spawn, who, despite Taco's place in the standings, I feel like Spawn has been having a nice split.
And we'll have to see if he can put up the numbers against Masu here. In that graphic you were seeing, maybe it wasn't as eligible, but the damage numbers, the gold numbers, it is all the king right now for Taco, and it's all Spawn. So we do see that Kindred, the Poppy ban, over towards UG. We also get the Rel ban and the Tristana ban by FlyQuest.
I love that Rel ban. NXI has been fantastic on the Rel, and Taco has shown that they can give it to Rosethorn. I like that when it's on NXI. I feel like that has been one of his best champions, as NXI has also really started to come into his own in that support role swap. I think Rel being the first champion where he feels like he's really proficient and can win games on for his team, but will be taken away, and it will be the first pick, Sejuani, for the side of Yuji, who is also talking about player growth, continues to be more of that cerebral jungler that we really wanted to see him grow into. We know that Yuji has the hands and mechanics. He's a great Lee Sin and Viego. But seeing him control maps, I felt like he had an outstanding series yesterday against Maryville on the Sejuani. I want to see him continue that today against Tom.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's constantly in our MVP conversation. Even if he hasn't won, he's been close runner-up every single time. It feels like he's been in this league. So incredible stuff from him. See if he's going to be the one piloting in Sejuani. I feel like there may be some flexibility there still. On the other side, though, we did get that Maokai lock in, so an easy pickup here, and I expect some cohesion with that. Maybe the combos, a lot of the poke coming through here. Kaisa is still available, and there you go. Taco, pick it up.
Yeah, actually curious that Kaisa was dropped by the side of FlyC. I know that it's not a pick.
Get the Lovers Duo, why not?
Yeah, Lovers Duo has been big. It's a pick where I don't think... Yeah, Spyrex only has one game on the Kaisa. Masa only two. So we have seen FlyC play it a little bit, but they do prefer this because it gives them a stronger early to mid game, which I feel like FlyC has really excelled. So Taco already going to be up against it, as FlyQuest showing a lot of early game, and they're going to take that Renekton. Have some bans to throw to protect Soul in the top side, who is subbing in this week. Lunastia couldn't play this week due to reasons. So Soul, the way that he put it to me is like doing a favor for some friends on the team. So Soul stepping in to try and do his best for Taco as they, again, try to avoid that promotion.
Yeah, every win matters again. I did this whole thing because I was like, I go into a draft. I'm always like setting bars of execution for teams. And when you see the Lovers Duo, you see the Sejuani, maybe things get a little easier. But I was like, okay, the bar of execute for Taco, it's a little high. I mean, you do have a lot of objective control. They got the Kaisa. Okay, let's see. Then they get the Renekton. It's like, all right, let's see what they got today. I want to see what Soul is bringing to the table with the Renekton. And now that we're getting to the second phase, we'll see what the responses kind of are, because I do expect some of that solo lane ban coming through as the last one for Taco. They already got the Azir off the table. It's still LeBlanc for FlyQuest on the other side.
Interestingly enough, actually banning out some of the bad matchups for Kaisa mid. Olaf going to be a Faisal special as well. Now, we haven't really seen Onat play that Kaisa mid. So it's something where, again, I expect most of our teams by this point to be able to pilot this. But we haven't seen it for Taco yet. Now, Spawn has been good on the Kaisa. We've seen him pick his spots really well, but this is a pick, and for Taco, seeing some of that flexibility would be nice. And Onat is really a mage player coming into this challenger split. We have seen him try to play the Tristana a little bit. That has been full nice instances of growth from Onat, but another one would be to see him actually play this Kai'Sa and play well.
All right, man. It just keeps getting higher. I'm going to need a stepping stool at this point. We got the Blitzcrank coming in. And Taco, they're going all in, I feel like. A little bit differing, a lot of control around objectives, but also the pick potential available to them. There's a lot of options still there for FlyQuest Challengers. I feel like that can be a strength of them. They want to try to pair up some melees with the Sejuani if it is going to go to UG.
I would like the Jackson and the Renekton for the side of Faisal. I feel like with the Sejuani, you have an opportunity to actually win that matchup in the top side, especially if junglers get involved. So Faisal, something where we don't usually know Faisal for playing a weak side and playing some more champs that give utility in team fights. I want to see if Faisal can topple Soul in the top lane as the Jackson Renekton with the help of that Sejuani.
Again, the combos are always so big, and this would be a nice one here as well. Anything melee mid is going to be good, and you get the Yone for Spyrax.
His blind, though, I got to believe that they're not going to play Kai'Sa into Yone. I think this is going to Onat. And honestly...
You don't want to take that smoke? Come on.
It'd be a hair magic damage heavy, but I think Ahri would be okay. Also, Akali would be an option. It's not something that we know Onat for, but Onat, again, mage player, and I think Ahri is his best champion. It is his most played this split if he decides to lock it in here, and that will be
there it is. Okay, so you got a little bit of cohesion there, a lot of mobility out of mid lane for this team, for Taco, and I think for Rosethorn, he's going to need to connect with Onat very quickly here.
Yeah, and for the side of Taco, I'm expecting to see the AD Kai'Sa, as there is a lot of magic damage between the Maokai, the Ahri, and the Kai'Sa itself. I think for Taco, it's going to be a little bit about weathering that storm pre-6, and then once they have 6, they can answer with some ultimates. I think their Herald fight is strong, as Renekton playing into 3 melees on the top side could be very good. The side of Taco, but a lot of that's going to be playing around picks and not getting deathballed by FlyQuest, because Xayah Rakan, we expect this to have some priority in the bot side. If you're able to snowball that in the mid, help the Yone get going, Sejuani and Jax get a little bit far ahead thanks to that duo, just the melee synergy. It'd be a really good look for FlyQuest. So Taco have to survive that early game, which is not going to be easy against FlyQuest, because in that game 1 against Maryville yesterday, Mazel, really felt like FlyQuest won that game 7 minutes in. They got 3 plates bot. So going to be tough defense here for Taco.
It was actually insane. And now we're headed off on the rip for the first game of this second day, or final week. FlyQuest Challengers versus Taco. Taco need every win, and they're going to need all your help. Spam him in chat. If you want Taco to win, put in TACO. If you want FlyQuest Challengers to win, put in FLYC. See who can get that fan vote, who can have that backing. But again, Taco, they have not had an easy split. We've seen some really positive growth from a lot of the members on the team. We had the O Nation come up. We've had Rosethorn, a very aggressive but uniquely pathing jungler, and Spawn, we've already highlighted so much about his growth and aggression. It's been really cool to see this team to come together, but it needs to come together for this weekend specifically.
Minions have spawned.
Especially for me, honestly, NXI. I really feel like this bot lane for Taco, they aren't the best laning bot lane that we have in the league, but I think out of lane, this lane actually plays pretty well, as NXI continues to grow in that first split as a role swap from jungle to support. Yes, this is the NXI that played on the LCS stage with FlyQuest when they did the full swap, I should say, with their Challengers team and that LCS squad. What was that, Mazel? Back in 21? When they had triple in the lineup. So to see where NXI's at now, really trying to be on the come up yet again as a support. He is a player that I feel like has grown a bit, and man, I bet he would love to take down his old organization here in FlyQuest.
If you can do so on the Blitzcrank, he has a very pivotal role in this game. He will have to be getting these rocket grabs on crucial members, specifically Masu, if he doesn't have Feather Storm, things like that. Even catching out Spyrax could be pretty big. But it is starting off here with these kind of top side to bot side jungle clears. And I do want to focus a little bit more on the jungle matchup, because I think Yuji can have some very strong skirmishing, some movement out of his solo lanes as well to help him and kind of press Rosethorn, where Rosethorn is typically the one that likes pressure.
Yeah, and you can see Yuji actually doing the small camp clear on his blue side jungle, so that's a little bit more common that we see junglers go for the Raptors and the Krugs early on, as those camps are a little bit quicker to clear, but usually doing the AoE camp with the Wolves and the Gromp. And because he is the Sejuani, you have a very nice clear time, so somewhat able to keep up with the Maokai and should even be ahead at the end of the day, where his bot lane will have priorities. So Hot Crab going to be the focus for the side of FlyQuest Challengers, and gotta believe they're going to be able to have access to that one. So we'll see if Rosethorn can make his way top, as I think that's going to be the only option for them.
They will spot him out, so they know he's on the bottom side now. They actually get that ward there as well from Masu, see if he wants to come down towards this bottom side, but the push is still there. You have a little bit of a weird lane state in the mid lane, but Rosethorn just hovering down this bot lane with how much priority there can be down here for FlyQuest.
NACL wrapping up that clear. Not bad there on the Sejuani, starting Wolves. Managed to get 324. And yeah, Rosethorn, he's got no option to get to this bot crab. Bot lane stronger for FlyQuest at this point of the game. They have priority, so well done. Nice little trade there from Winston.
Taking some heavy ones down there in the bot lane. Going to be pressed back a little bit more, but it should just be their reservation here. But I think this is okay for Taco. I think Maokai is a pick where, yes, you can skirmish early, can be pretty aggressive, especially depending on the matchup. But I feel like when you're reactive a little bit more on Maokai, that you find a lot of strength, and especially when those objectives start being contested and coming up.
Yeah, I mean, this is A-okay for the side of Taco. I did talk in the draft. They had to survive that first 5 minutes before the level 6s come in. Oh, that was close there. Nice attempt.
Get your heart race a little early.
A little bit. Still see Masu stepping up. Good harass coming down from him and Winsome as the Xayah Rakan lane. Masu's Xayah, it has been fantastic this split. It's got a 3-1 record coming into this game, and saw a couple of the highlight plays that he had in that package yesterday in the Zell. Pretty impressive Xayah play coming out from Masu as always.
That's where when you got to talk to Rocco yesterday, but also you get to hear from the players themselves, it feels like they all have a goal that is very clearly defined for them. And the growth comes in individuals, but also as the team. And that stuff is so important. In a developmental league, but not only a team that we've seen be such a staple now over this year here for them. And to have a lot of the developmental pieces coming through and to have success in their own personal goals, but also finding these late season resurgence, the tenacity in this team, has been really cool.
I mean, you gotta have faith if you want to win, but also you have to have some brains. And I love this from FlyQuest. They TP back to mid first. Their bot resets first with a priority. And Yuji on the Dragon, right on time, as this will go over to the side of FlyQuest uncontested.
We'll see that at least early objective go their way. Early Mountain Dragon that maybe Taco won a little back-end fight afterwards, but we'll end up finding it. A lot of mobility, again, that we were highlighting in draft from FlyQuest just means they can be everywhere they need to be. We haven't seen anything come up just yet for Taco.
That's just good map play coming out from the side of FlyQuest. Nothing that Taco can do to defend that. As FlyQuest use their picks to manipulate the map in a way that was undefensible inside of Taco. So good give from them. FlyQuest now will have their sights set on that Herald. We're talking about this in the draft cell. It does feel like Taco have some
Faisal, he's looking to get a little bit of a chomp from a croc. See Faisal running away, though, with that flash. Does make it out alive. Soul winning the trade.
Faisal does have that TP back, so we'll be able to get back in the lane, but Soul will have TP advantage after this, and honestly could be big for the Herald, as any other big trades before that very much go the way of Taco, as I really like their Herald fight, and we're setting up for a skirmish. Remember, Yuji's in trouble.
We're turning into a 4v4 here as well. Yuji misses over the wall. There you go. First blood straight to spawn.
Good collapse coming out from Taco, as Onat had the jump, was able to beat Spyrax there, and the chain CC from the Maokai Ari very clean. Well done. First blood going over to the side of Taco.
Can't get over that wall fast enough. Didn't burn the flash at least, but will be punished. And first blood to spawn, but let alone Kaisa. Really big stuff. He even didn't have the bag. He already has the Noon Quiver. Spyrax should make it out of here alive. Rosethorn just looking for a bit more than they had already gotten in bot lane.
Yeah, he already has the tier 2 boots on the Yone, and is even going to find a little skirmish here on...
He's like, Spyrax, do you really want to walk into the bush here? Do you really want to? He ended up saying yes, stopping Rosethorn's back, delaying that a little bit. But we do have level 6s up and available. UG coming back onto the map. This Glacial Prison will be very active now, I'm sure.
You can see 20 seconds before Herald spawns. Winsome already making his way towards the Herald. Not sure if he's going to get spotted by that ward that he just crossed. But UG is spotted here. Rosethorn does burn Smite to take away that Raptor for himself. Or still has a Smite up from the looks of things, as Rosethorn likely going to opt not to contest, as NXI is
He's
not
got
here
an
yet.
inside cover. I feel like that's a little bit of an enabler. We'll see who gets it. It ends up going over to Yuji. Runs up the Pega Frog, but now you got to be careful. Nature's Grasp coming out. You got so much CC, but Soul gets clipped by the Nature's Grasp, and FlyQuest are just out.
Oh boy, NXI, I feel like if you want to convert that kill, if NXI burned his flash while Yuji was CC'd up, you might be able to yoink him on in and prevent him from escaping, but Yuji preemptively flashing to make sure his Arctic Assault could not be interrupted does get him out of there.
I can't believe they just get Rift Herald off the back of that. Maybe Spyrax trying to capitalize here too. Rosethorn, the rocket grab doesn't connect as Spyrax gets the shot across for FlyQuest.
Masu dodges out on the charm and just dishes a face full of damage over to Onat for his reward. And now Spyrax going to rotate back down bot. Spawn did not follow any of this. He's going to get a plate for himself, but he can't stick around long. Spyrax doesn't have the ultimate, so we're going to need that, I think, to find realistic solo kill potential on this spawn, unless he misplays, but he's going to look for a nice jump.
All right, NXI coming over here to make sure no more aggression goes on to spawn. We'll take a look back at that mid lane play.
Yeah, just no chain CC on the Winsome. Winsome able to get away from that rocket grab, and Rosethorn ends up hopping into the brush and hitting the gray screen pretty quick, so really no play there from the side of Taco. And I really feel like where Taco's going to look back to where they would have been able to get something at a red buff skirmish. I really think if NXI preemptively flashed, committed some more spells, they could have taken down Yuji and maybe turned that into a positive Herald, but now Taco's in trouble. Like, you drafted Renekton Ahri. You didn't find a Herald fight on your terms. You end up losing that. FlyQuest, this 1-3-1 for them. I think they're in pretty good shape this game and are going to have a lot of pressure on the map. Once Masu resets, should be able to at least have that Kraken Slayer to match what Spawn has in his inventory right now. And I think from there, FlyQuest, gotta believe they're going to look for that dragon. I'd be really surprised if they started this dragon before Masu reset.
They can get that tempo there as well. I will appreciate Soul's couple turret plate takes in the top side, though, at least getting something back in that matchup. The Renekton definitely needs to have something because Jax does not get any easier to deal with in the side lane as time goes on. And now I'm specifically wondering if Yuji just wants to dump gold in the opposite side of the map here and try to get Masu even further ahead, or get him ahead at least at all. I don't think that's followed up by. Does get blocked. Cleanse comes out. Rocket grab there. Glacial Prison came back on a spawn. Burns his cleanse. Onat's on his way. Spirit Rush available. There's the Killer Instinct. Featherstorm coming out. Will the Blade Caller be the savior? It's already Yuji down. Blade Caller big. Nice great entrance too. As they're fighting a little bit back. Onat's in some trouble now. Spyrax comes and he has that fate sealed. Can he get the distance? He won't go for it. It's just going to be a defensive move, but it is a trade and in favor of Taco.
Yeah, Spyrax actually missed that first Q, so wasn't able to stack up and try to find a knockup, which he would have liked to push with that E running on the Yone. And good defense coming out from Taco as NXI, this hook, no way of missing this one, chaining it with the Nature's Grasp. And a good 3v3 coming out from Taco as that first grand entrance from Winsome came short. That hook makes sure that Yuji takes a bunch of damage, and props to Onat for beating the Yone here.
Yeah. Really good, and that's what we kind of highlighted, some of that mobility out of mid lane for Taco to utilize that, and they do that, which is actually pretty big. Now Yuji is back on map. He's gonna need to use this Rift Herald soon, but with top line, he's got a 1v1 Soul. He's got one more heal available to him as well. He got that rage stacked up all the way. Faisal need to be a little bit careful.
Soul's playing there because he wants to try and demolish.
Oh no, he stepped back. He wants the kill! Soul with a solo bolo!
Where was this Soul, man, when he was with EG? The confidence on this guy.
And he got a plate. He'll go down to Winsome here, potentially. One more burn. No, it's not enough. He'll have the Slice and Dice available here. Well, he gets the stun off. One more auto, one more heal. He can't take him. Slice and Dice out, and Winsome is angry.
Well played, Soul. That's the best play of his split when he's subbing in. All right, he's going to catch it all. Oh, hold on. Ult's coming up.
That's the flash. All right. Yuji was like, you can't do that to my top laner, bro. They'll get Spyrax, all the plates, all the money, while Taco will get the dragon on the other side. This is so much to this Yone.
Yeah, this dragon's, if FlyQuest, you're going to drop any dragon, I would drop Chemtech. That's not too bad there for the side of FlyQuest. They're going to take all this gold into the pockets as you called it out, Mazel. This Yone going to be fed. Well played to Soul. Love seeing that confidence out of him, man. I feel like we missed some of that when he was on EG, that he just kind of lost confidence in the back half. I don't know what Soul's plans are after this, but always going to root for Soul, man. Good to see him competing and doing so at a pretty decently high level as he takes down Faisal in the top lane. FlyQuest, you get a positive trade with that Herald. Taking first brick for themselves, putting that on the Yone. And I gotta say, Yone is gonna be pretty scary here in the side lane, paired up with that Sejuani Mazel, something that Team Fish Taco, I don't think they have the tools to deal with.
Not only that, but it's Spyrax's Yone. And I could go on a soapbox about Spyrax all day long. He does have the Gale Force now. This could be a nice little reset for him. But this guy has been seriously hard carrying a lot of games in the later half of the split for FlyQuest. It's been off of confidence too, right? Some of these Tristana plays you've seen this guy go for, it's insane. He's literally stepping up 1v5, but it's the confidence that's feeding the growth we've seen from him himself.
Yeah, if you only saw Spyrax in his one LCS game, you do not have nearly as high of an opinion of him as our challengers enjoyers that like to tune into NACL and see what he's been able to do in this league, because Spyrax, especially in the second round robin, has been a huge part of the team that has the best record in the league in the second round robin in FlyQuest Challengers as NXI's caught.
This decisiveness is a key to that as well, and it has just been like wolves to the slaughter here. As now, it is something where FlyQuest can continue capitalizing on. They only have that 2,000 gold lead, but the Rift Herald coming up very shortly. They can continue kind of pushing the pressure from this mid lane as well, because they now have the side lanes a bit unlocked with Faisal.
What I want to see FlyQuest continue to do, play towards the Yone lane, and then when you get pushed in these sides, use that to collapse elsewhere. As you can see, Spyrax taking a pretty nice trade into Soul. Soul should be able to sustain a little bit with Core Drinker and the Cold the Meek, but just while that's going on, the top lane shoved in pretty damn well. Yuji gonna snag this Rift Herald for himself. Rosethorn trying to get involved, but shouldn't have to play.
Oh, all right, so FlyQuest will end up getting that. Maybe they win some caught out here. Killer Instinct in, and they do. Somebody's got to get the kill.
It's gonna be fun.
Somebody. Yeah. All right, there we go. He finally got the auto attack. Spawn goes on a killing spree. If there's a saving grace of this deficit that Taco are at, it's the fact that Spawn, that man that has been so aggressive, the lion of Taco, he's got all the kills.
Someone's got to get the kill, but, you know, strategically placed. Who wants it? Goes on to Spawn like that. He's feasting. That's his dinner.
He is indeed. Now, Kaisa with the AD build can be a very, very big thing for Taco here. Not alone just with the damage profile they have across the table, but also Spawn, right? I think we've highlighted enough of this guy's growth, but it's the guy on the Kaisa with that killer instinct fitting his moniker so well.
Yeah, the AD build for Kaisa, I think curving out a lot better. You just have a stronger 1-2 item fight, whereas the AP build really takes over after that third item, especially if you're going to go Ludens. But Spawn has the ability to be big in this game. You're going into a comp where you can play and interact with every champion at this range. That's something that Kaisa doesn't really always get to do, and oftentimes be outranged by stuff. Yeah, you gotta be careful when you pick your spots in the Jack, Sejuani, Yone, because if they jump on you, you can go down well. If you don't use that killer instinct to reposition, you can be in big trouble, but Spawn does have the ability to pump out damage and is going to need to if Team Fish Taco wants to pick up a win. Again, they need at least one to get in, or at least two, I should say, given tiebreakers, to make sure that they are not in that pot 2 and end up in that LCS promotion tournament.
Every win matters for Taco here, and FlyQuest trying to make them sweat a little bit in this first one. This one goes right back in with a twisted advance, though. Pull them off is NXI with a flank, pressuring FlyQuest a bit. The Spyrax is getting
Nice
bold in
buffer.
the side lane. He's flashing. He can't get the kill, and now he's in some trouble. Roaster
let's
knocks
kill.
it back, and Spawn will get his 4th. There's a trade in the mid lane, and NXI gets taken out under tower.
Herald will be dropped. FlyQuest are going to try and hit this turret, but now Soul's here.
Soul, that's a blast with the
reaction.
cleanse though. Praise Seeker, at least Void Seeker does go wide. Soul trying to heal up a little bit, does end flash from
Onat.
Yuji though, gets the kill, killing spree for him. Spirit Rush is not available. You don't have many tools here, and it's Killer Instinct for Spawn. He's stepping up, and he goes right down. The shutdown to Faisal. That's a ton of gold, and then Onat too will follow him quickly to the grave.
No Arenal, no win for the side of Taco, as I got to give some praise over to Masu for this fight. Mazel, the reaction speed that Masu had to get out of this one and to take down Spawn in the back half, I think difference maker in making sure that that one went FlyQuest Challengers' way. I don't think that was the best take for Taco, as Onat didn't have access to that ult. Let's take another look. Masu catches the rocket grab, ends up just using it to rip down NXI, as Winsome taking up that turret in the end. Well played by the side of FlyQuest, but then get the re-engage. Watch this reaction from Masu in the cleanse.
Oh my god.
That is so clean.
Dirty.
Sidesteps the Void Seeker, and then the ult comes out, goes up in the air to make sure that he can take down Soul. Really well done by Masu, and now no ult, no problem. Rest of his team front to backing. He positions himself to actually get away from Onat. Spawn goes in to take down Winsome, but was not able to DPS down Masu, who got that rip back up, rips the feathers through Spawn. Back to front to backing. Really good fight from FlyQuest to protect their marksman, and Masu cashing in all the damage you could find in that fight. Really well played by FlyQuest Challengers.
And I love that we get a little bit of the taste that we set up for both these ADCs. The mind, the mental, the hands that Masu is bringing, and the absolute aggression that Spawn was there for. He just wanted some kills, man. We do get that second item for him, so maybe it was worth it in the end if he could take a next big fight. But Masu, there's a reason why this guy's in your front runner or is your MVP at this point, because he has been an incredible moment for FlyQuest, not alone just last split, but the fact that this guy just started competitive not long ago. There's no way this fight Spyrax goes down.
I mean, Yuji's here now, so I think Soul's going down.
This Soul is turned on its head as Winsome wants to come and get some fun here. Everybody's going to be clad in some crocodilian leather.
Onat doesn't have that in powered TP. Baron is an option here for the side of Masu, as he's going to take a little bit of a 1v3 skirmish and walk out with minimal damage to show for it. As, yeah, I mean, sadly, the biggest compliment I can give the players and challengers is that I don't want to see him next split. And I really feel that way with Masu. If I see Masu in challengers next year, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to have to chase this guy. I want to keep on casting him, right? The level he's bringing out.
Yeah, it's been really nice to see, and it's also a point of pride for FlyQuest, it feels like, right? It took a while for him to get with the team in LA, get together, right? But it seriously has been an incredible come up, not only in his confidence, when you get to talk to him, you get to hear some of the confidence built in his own, but the team having confidence behind him as well. We do have our second items now for FlyQuest too. That Bloodthirster is available for Spyrax. He'll be looking out back onto the map. No dragon for a little while, but it's still skirmish heavy FlyQuest time here.
And all eyes on Spawn, who is 5-1, and will have to be that big carry for the side of Team Fish Taco if they want to come out in this one. Spawn able to take 2 kills for himself in that last fight, but has some heavy lifting to do, as Masu is level 12, has same item spike, and Zaya very, very strong at this point of the game. So I think for Team Fish Taco, it's still going to be about using this Maokai and Blitzcrank. I want to see NXI and Rosethorn walk together a bit more. You can fish for rocket grabs off the sapling slows even, and I think that's really where Taco is going to be looking. Also, if Onat gets any priority in a side lane, collapsing to join the team is going to be really key. But FlyQuest can still see with this Jax, with this Yone at the point of the game they are. They're the ones dominating both side lanes and making it very difficult for Taco to find any setups to get picks with the Maokai and Blitzcrank.
That's the thing. We came in the draft and I got a little bit of a raised eyebrow when I was seeing Taco's comp. The execution is important, and executing on them is FlyQuest now. The grab comes in. Masu, he has the Feather Storm out, but he goes down to Soul, and now you got Onat on the side with the resets, potentially Killer Instinct in for spot 2, and that's another one that bites the dust here. Taco fighting back and not one to go quietly.
Great rocket grab from NXI, as Masu didn't see that one coming. He doesn't react. He goes down, and now Taco, they might just start up this Baron.
See if they have the damage to do it very quickly.
Oh,
they
they
do
do.
have that spawn damage coming
That's a
through,
Kai'Sa.
and
That's
UG
gone.
will not be able to be anywhere nearby. So a big turnaround for Taco, and that gold deficit's going to be cut in half.
Off a fight that FlyQuest Challengers wanted. They felt like they had members. It gets turned around by one hook coming out of NXI, landing onto no one else but Masu.
Of course, as the Turo Baron buff goes over to Taco, they are renewed in strength. And the motivation is clear. Get back on the map. Get some of this gold down. You cut that lead in half, but now you got more work to do. The side lane tower goes down to the Winions.
Oh man, this game just got a bit interesting, Marcel. Reminding fans at home, if you just joined us, I know it's the first game of Challengers League today. The stakes pretty high. Team Fish Taco, they need to have at least 2 wins. They need Maryville and Superdome to not win any other games. They want a chance of making playoffs and dodging out on the promotion tournament. They would have to re-earn their spot into Challengers League for spring, whereas FlyQuest, of course, fighting for that number 2 seed. But Taco trying to get the upset. Gotta say, it was a game where they've been on the back foot for the entirety of it. But one hook from NXI has turned the tides in their favor, Mazel, and we actually have a little bit of gamer on our hands.
That's the beauty of this composition. I was talking about the bar of execution there, but one fell swoop can be the difference maker. And that was some of that kind of 50-50 nature of the Blitzcrank grab for them, right? Like, you could have gone something more meta, more stable as the support, but if you want to up in one of the best teams in NACL, you got to throw him a curveball here or there, and a big rocket grab in the right moment. You saw that last time. Masu did not have tools for it and went down.
No ult for Masu. Wasn't able to get up in the air. Masu, we saw the reactions be the Yaz on the cleanse. 50 ping gameplay for him has been pretty strong as we are on the Chicago servers.
No more Wi-Fi wizard.
Yeah.
He's just a wizard now.
Especially if he plays the mages, as we have a Nature's Grasp from out. FlyQuest going to be able to not dodge out on that one.
Interesting. All right, going to use the Fate Sealed already there. As okay, Winston's coming in with a big grand entrance, plus everything with the quickness. Soul going down here, heals up, flashes out. It's Masu chasing him down. One more Feather.
Yeah,
Masu gets the kill. Featherstorm coming through, though. He didn't get the right angle on it, but he's still pumping out the damage. It's Rosethorn on top of him, but it's split from FlyQuest now, but it doesn't matter as they pick out both sides. A double kill for Masu, but that's 3 bodies in the bag for Taco.
No TP on Onat. He wasn't able to join the fight, and FlyQuest Challengers pushed the pace forward and ended up taking down 2. As you gotta believe that if Onat's there, a hook on the Masu could have been deadly for the side of FlyQuest Challengers, but no Onat, no win. As we see the Nature's Grass come out, FlySolo just able to kind of tank it up. Freezes the Renekton in place, and now FlyQuest, they're here. Masu's at the fight. Onat's still showing on that mid wave, so FlyQuest decide to push the pace. They take what's in front of them as they take down Soul. But here's like, Onat needs to join this fight, man. He got that turret. I think that once you see this fight break out, you gotta join. He wasn't able to do anything. If Masu gets hooked and Onat's actually here in position to make a play, that could be deadly for the side of FlyQuest. So Taco pushing too far forward and not on the same page as the mid laner wasn't with the team on that push. And FlyQuest Challengers, you cannot afford to make mistakes like that against this team. There's a reason they're the best team that we have in the second round robin, and they punish appropriately.
Exactly, and during that replay, they also got the 3rd dragon for themselves, so they are on Soul Point. They have all the decision-making power. See if Taco can find that promise out. Again, the Maokai does get very strong around those objectives, but you still have a little bit of game plan in time for Taco ahead of that fight.
The saving grace for Taco, it still has to be Spawn, but they need Onat to run interference and at least try and create some space for Spawn to find that good killer instinct on the back half, and that was an expensive fight. Look at Masu's inventory, was able to get some kills off the back of that, now has an LDR.
Yeah.
That front line for Taco going to melt even faster as Masu's going to feel so good going up against this Renekton Maokai. So really going to be on Onat and Spawn to try and pressure Masu, get an early ultimate, try and bleed that out of him, or cleanse, a flash, anything, try and set this up moving forward.
As that aggressive carry growing into the split here, but the Nature's Grasp growing into FlyQuest here. Double TP coming in from both of the solo laners. As already down goes Rosethorn, and Faisal's here. The cleanse Spawn. You gotta make it out. You are the man for the team, and he has no health to put up any fight left. It's everything going rot for Taco, and FlyQuest regaining that huge lead they had.
The LDR is in for Zaya, and the front line has melted for Team Fish Taco as FlyQuest now get to barrel down the mid lane. At least going to be a mid-inner falling. They continue to pad that lead for themselves. And these team fights just keep on going awry as this time around, no rocket grab lands to the side of Team Fish Taco, and Spawn gets chunked early.
And we got to give a huge welcome to the LEC party coming in here. Welcome, welcome. We are in our first series of the day here in our second day of our last week. We've got Taco on the red side needing every win possible to stay out of the promotion tournament. Or FlyQuest, our best team in the second round robin, are running away with this one a little bit. They had a little bit of a lackluster moment in the mid-game, a big catch out by Taco, but here they are yet again with this lead and this advantage, pushing straight into NXI.
Well, yeah, welcome, guys. It's, unfortunately, I think Taco in the back half of this one looking more dead than KOI is. Skull's going to get cleaned up, and Spawn, he doesn't have flash or killer instinct yet. He can't even approach.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do. Soul just gets caught out there in the end, and FlyQuest are roasting up those tacos and making sure they're ready to take it down, get the protein. So it's wondering if Baron is just the play now for FlyQuest. Roastorn's going for the deflate. He's like, maybe I could get a steal. Maybe I could do something crazy here.
See if FlyQuest are actually smart enough to gas him out.
Is he really going to finish? Okay.
Yeah, no, they couldn't flush him out. All right, well. Free Baron going on the side of FlyQuest Challengers as us throw Baron buff secured this time by our other team in FlyQuest.
It won't be quickly stolen away like it was by Taco. Easy calculated. Back onto the map go FlyQuest, ready for this minute fight of a dragon. It is their soul. It would be the Cloud Soul, but it's really just, at this point, flexing over Taco with the amount of advantage they have. 7K in the lead. They're working on 3 items now for Spyrax. I'm sure he's going to back right now and finish that one. And they just have that advantage now. Onat, Spawn, they do have theirs, but is it going to be enough? Ooh, they get a catch out. They try to find Masu, who gets that Feather Storm though, and that's the power of this pick. You can't take him out. It goes golden too. Spawn is trying with everything that he can. They finally get him. The shutdown 1,000 gold straight to Taco's ADC, but here comes Spyrax, and he's still on this go day. Bysol over the side as well. They have so much power in their solo lanes, and now they're just fighting Onat too. Bysol say, you forgot about me, baby. And NXI just gets out of that one. It's just one last member, and Soul is watching across the entire map here while his team gets eviscerated.
I respect it from Taco. They only had 4 members there. You gotta try something, though. And this isn't the worst attempt, as... okay, so NXI is trying to get a flash knockup before Masu can go in the air. I think if he silence flashes, maybe they're able to chain everything together. If Masu was able to get the puns off, go golden. Flash out buys as much time as he can. Doesn't find enough time to get a second rip thanks to the hook from NXI. That was a second rip. That would have been very deadly from the side of Masu, but everything was burned to take down a marksman for FlyQuest Challengers. And that makes it a rather fun fight to be Bysol or Spyrax. Yeah. There's nothing else they have to deal with.
That's the duality of that aggression we were talking about for Spawn, though. He used the flash cleanse to get back over the wall to take out Masu, but you forget you're just an ADC and there's a bunch of solo laners coming your way. And after that, there's really no end. That last little tag of the Fate Sealed ends up doing just that. But Taco, with a bit of a resurgence, they are still 8,000 in the deficit. They have lost the soul, and it's FlyQuest with full power here.
I appreciate the idea. That's really where we're at. You aren't going to win this game standard at this point. They have fallen a little bit behind, as it is a significant lead for FlyQuest Challengers. Now down mid, Winston going to get away.
Nice catch, though. So tanky. They get the triple knock. Oh, my God. So much damage from FlyQuest. Oh, it's another one. And everyone from Taco's getting eaten alive here.
All right, well, I guess the Radiant Virtue Recon just takes no damage as Winsome gets strategically hooked and knocks everyone up and takes him down as FlyQuest going to wrap up game 1.
We'll see you on the other side, Onat, as your Nexus towers are down. FlyQuest have made the statement, and Taco are questioning how this series and how the rest of this split can play out. FlyQuest with a dominant Game 1 victory.
And there were moments in that game where it really felt like Taco had some control, The two fights where NXI landed significant rocket grabs were great, but that Baron push Taco just not together. Onat stayed to take down that mid inner turret, didn't group for the fight. I feel like that really hurt them because Masu, he was hooked. Like NXI found Xayah multiple times in that game. You really can't ask for anything else out of your Blitzcrank to find Xayah of all champions. Just the follow-up wasn't there for Taco. They couldn't quite put it together, and can't make mistakes like that against the second best team we have in Challengers and the strongest record that we have in the second round robin.
Exactly that, but game one goes the way of FlyQuest. We'll see after a little break what we have planned for our Rally Cry halftime show with Grapes.
The LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. Find your drive.